Greetings, my name is Muhammad Alvin Prego, and now I will explain about my experiment result of senior mechanical laboratory class. And in this presentation, I will have four main topics to be discussed. The first topic is about the experiment preparation. In this topic, I will discuss about the experiment setup and all the related topic. And the second topic will be about the assembly. In this case, I will explain how do I assemble each component so that the component become one experiment setup. And then the third topic is about the experiment itself. I will explain the working principle, the data collection, and also the expected result. And the last topic is about analysis and conclusion. The analysis here is doing the analysis, the data analysis from the experiment itself, and then I'll give the conclusion of the finding. And this experiment is conducted by using one devices that includes thermodynamic, heat transfer, and fluid mechanic experiment. So in this class, we are asked to build our own experiment setup that is able to analyze thermodynamic, heat transfer, and fluid mechanic phenomenon. And then the first topic is about the experiment preparation. For the experiment preparation, and the very first thing that we do is the literature review. So we are reading a lot of journal book so that we get an idea about what will we do in the experiment. And after finding some data, we will do a group discussion. And after doing the group discussion, we will consult it with the supervisor. And if the supervisor says no, we'll go back to the previous step, which is literature review. And then if the supervisor says yes, we'll directly proceed to the next step, which is set up an assembly. And after the set up an assembly, we will directly do the experiment. However, before we do the setup and assembly, we'll need to buy the component needed. Therefore, we need to list all the components. After we have the list, we'll buy the component whether in online shop or offline shop. And we will also need to collect the invoice and submit the invoice to the supervisor. And then about the shipping plan, and since this is a group work, we will use self-delivery services, meaning that we will deliver the experiments set up to teammates by ourselves. So it will reduce the cost, the shipping cost. And then this is the design schematic. In this case, we'll have in this schematic, we'll have boiler here, and then from the boiler, this boiler is a closed system, and then if and this is filled with water. So if the water is exposed to heat, it will produce a steam, and the steam will be flowing through this, and this is pipe here, and we'll install temperature gauge here to measure the temperature of the steam. And then here we will have cold water and also valve here. And then here, and then the cold water and the steam will meet in here, and it will go to the pump or water generator. It is expected to turn on the light here. This is the light. And from here, the water will go to reservoir, and then it is transferred to the siphon by the help of the pump, and then the water will be sent to the boiler, so it will create a cycle. The fluid mechanic experiment here is about the siphon here itself, and then the thermodynamic is about the Rankine cycle. And then the heat transfer is the heat transfer between the two fluid, which is steam and water. And next is about the assembly. The first thing is doing assembly of the siphon itself and the assembly of the temperature gauge. And here we need a L joint and T joint and also PVC pipe. The size is about 3/4 inch, and then temperature gauge and rubber or acrylic. The first step is we need to connect the PVC pipe with L joint and T joint, and we need to glue it if needed. So here we just plug in the pipe into the L joint, and since the size is already fit, so we can directly plug it here. And then we will have a valve here. We need to connect the valve at the exit of the siphon, and also we'll install the plastic on the pressure gauge hole and tighten it using rubber. And then we will need to check all the component whether it is well installed or not. If the component is not well installed, we will need to redo the assembly so that the all the component is well installed. And then the next step is assembly, and here is the whole assembly. And here we will need L joint or T joint, and this is same as before, the temperature gauge, rubber acrylic, and we need kettle here. This is the kettle and water generator. This is the zero one and bucket, and also the lamp. The lamp is installed in this water generator, and the bucket is as the cold water here. The first thing to do is we need to open the kettle mouth and install the L pipe here or L joint, and we need to glue it so that it will perfectly installed here. And then in the T joint, from the previous idea, we'll need to use acrylic here. However, we have no acrylic, that's why we use rubber here to install this temperature gauge. And then install the bucket and the valve by using sealant. Here, this is the bucket, and we need to seal it so that the cold water will not exit from this bucket. And then connect the water generator with pipa socket here. Connect the water generator here, and then we need to check whether all the component is well installed or not. And the next is about the experiment itself. Yeah, as I said previously, this experiment is about thermodynamics, heat transfers, and fluid mechanics. For the thermodynamics, we'll use steam to produce work by generate electricity by generator. And about the heat transfer, we will do heat transfer analysis of two fluids. In this case, we will use gas and liquid, and then analyzing pressure on specific location of the siphon. And this is for the fluid mechanic experiment. And then for the working principle of the siphon. So let's say here we have a bucket filled with water, and then let's say location 1 and location 2 is the water surface, and in the water surface the velocity of the liquid will be 0. Therefore here V1 equal to V2 equal to 0. However, the pressure at location 1 and location 2 will be the same as atmospheric pressure since it is exposed to the surrounding. Therefore here P1 equal to P2 equal to P naught or atmospheric pressure. And then it's about, and then let's say that the cross-sectional area of the pipe here is uniform. Therefore, we can write it here. A3 V3 equal to A4 V4 and A5 V5 equal to A6 V6. And this is the flow rate of the fluid or the liquid. In this case, it is water. So, as I said before, the cross-sectional area is uniform, so we can denote it as A. And then from this, if the A is from if A4, A3, A4, A5, and A6 is the same, the V4 will be also V3 will be also the same as V3, V4, V5, and V6. Therefore, I write it here: V3 equal to V4 equal to V5 equal to V6 equal to V. And by applying the Bernoulli equation at each location, we'll have this equation. Say it here: P2 plus 1 over 2 rho V square V2 square and rho G 0. Why this is 0? Because the location 2 is located very near to the reference line. This is the reference line, therefore we can assume it to be 0. And also it's equal to P3 plus half rho V square. It should be V3. However, here V3 is equal to V, therefore we can just write it as V here. And P3 plus 1 over 2 rho V square plus rho GH. Rho GH, the H is 0 because the location 3 is located near the reference line. And for the fourth location, P4 plus half rho V4 square plus rho GH2. Why this is H2? Because the location 4 is located in some specific distance, which is S2 from the reference line. And then the P5 is P5 plus half rho V5 square plus rho GH. The H is 0 because the location 5 is located exactly in the reference line, and equal to P6 plus half rho V6 square plus rho G minus H1. Minus H1 is here. Why this is minus H1? Because the H1 is located below the reference line, so this should be minus. And then since P2 here is equal to atmospheric pressure, we can directly substitute P2 with P naught. So just substitute P2 with P naught here, and 1 over 2 rho. This is V2. Since the V2 is 0, we substitute this value to this equation 0, and then rho G is 0. And then this is same as before, and also same as before, and this is also same as before, and this is also same as before. So we just plug in the atmospheric pressure to the P2 here. And then next here from this equation, we'll take this term, the first term, and the last term here. Yeah, because this is just equal, so we can make it like this equation. P naught equal to P6 plus 1 plus half rho V square plus rho G minus H1. It should be P naught plus 0 plus 0, so just write it P0. And then since the P6 in here, AP location 6 is located at here, which is exposed to the surrounding, therefore the P6 will be the same as the atmospheric pressure. Therefore, we can write it as P naught here, P naught, and we have P naught on the right half plane, and we also have P naught in the left half plane, and then we can cancel it out. So cancel it out, and then we'll have this equation, and from the equation we can simplify it to the here. So the velocity of the fluid throughout the siphon here will be the same as here, V equal to square root 2gh1. And then taking this term and this term and this term, so we can write it like here, A like this. So since the V is the same here, we can just cancel it, and then simplify it. The P6 equal to P naught, that's why it become P naught here, and you will have this. And then by moving this term to the right half plane, right half right half side, and then the P4 will be like this. P4 equal to P naught minus rho g h1 plus h2. So from here, it is clearly it is explicitly stated that if the h1 plus h2 is increased, the P4 will be decreased. So at the minimum, if the h1 is maximum, the the P4 will be minimum, and at the possible minimum value, the P4 will be 0. And the siphon will only work if this h1 plus h2 is less than or equal to P naught minus P4 over rho g. And simultaneously, the h1 will be greater to 0. Yeah, this is very logic, because if the h1 is not more than 0, the water level will be the same here. Therefore, the siphon will not work. And as the conclusion here, yeah, P3 equal to P5 less than, and P3 is equal to P5, and it is less than P naught, because if we take this part, this is P naught plus 0 plus 0, and then P3 plus half rho V square plus 0, and then we move this to here. Therefore, the P naught will be P naught minus this term. P3 equal to P naught minus this term. So the P3 will be less than P naught. Then the P naught will be equal to P6 as I explained before, and then the velocity will be this expression or this formula. And then it's about the working principle of the thermodynamics. In this experiment, we'll use Rankine cycle. So Rankine cycle is an idealized thermodynamic cycle of a heat engine that converts heat into mechanical work while undergoing phase changes. So here we have boiler filled by water, and we have Q in here. So if this is exposed to heat, the water will evaporate and produce a steam. Since this is closed, and the steam will be transferred to the turbine, and the steam is containing a very high energy. Therefore, the steam will able to make the turbine work. So the turbine will produce a work out. This is we have way out, and then after the steam passing through the turbine, it will go to here, the condenser, in which the steam will be converted into liquid again, and will have heat out here. And then And then the liquid here will be sent into the pump, and by help of the pump, the liquid or the water will be sent into the boiler, so it will create a cycle. Therefore, it called as Rankine cycle. So for the turbine work, formula is defined as this formula, where the Wt dot is the work of the turbine, and M here is the mass flow rate, and H1 and H2 is the enthalpy at state 1 and at state 2. And the next is the working principle of the heat transfer. So basically, the heat is transferred from the higher temperature into the lower temperature. So, for example, if we have a two block here, block A and block B, or cube A or cube B, let's say the cube A has a higher temperature compared to cube B. Therefore, the heat will be transferred from cube A to cube B until it reaches a thermal equilibrium. So the temperature of block A and block B is the same. And the heat energy is defined by this formula. Q equal to M Cp delta T, where M is the mass of the object, and Cp is the specific heat, and delta T is the difference in temperature. The next is about the data collection. So from the experiment, I did the experiment for about 15 minutes, or equal to 900 seconds. And for thermodynamic experiment, here I am measuring the inlet temperature by using thermometer that is installed on the setup. And from that, we can calculate the body flow. And the detailed calculation will be explained in the analysis topic or analysis part. And this is about the heat transfer. Same here, I'll do the heat transfer experiment about 15 minutes or 900 seconds. And here I'm measuring the inlet temperature and the outlet temperature by using thermometer. And from here, we can calculate the heat here. And next is about the analysis and the conclusion. So analyzing the siphon, from the working principle, I explained that the V is equal to square root of 2GH1 equal. So here we will measure the P at location 7 here. So by calculating the V using this formula, here 2G is gravitational acceleration, which is 9.81 meter per second square, and then the H1 is 50 centimeters or 0.5 meters, and then the velocity is obtained to be this value. And by applying the Bernoulli equation at location 2 and location 7, we'll have this expression. So here P2 is equal to P naught, then it is exposed to the surrounding, and then V2 here is 0, and H here is also H2 is also 0 because it is located near the reference line, so we can assume it to be 0. And then P7 is here, P7 plus 1/2 rho V square. As I said before, that the V throughout this pipe will be the same, so we can substitute this V into this V, and plus rho G H. The H is about minus 0.2 meters because this is located below the reference line, so it is minus. So by arranging this expression into P7 equal to P naught minus half V square G 0.2. We have a row here, but we can cancel it row. We can cancel out the row. And then from the calculation, it's about, and then this is the atmospheric pressure. And then from the calculation, the P7 is this number. So this atmospheric pressure is greater than the P at location 7. Therefore, it is a negative pressure. And from the experiment and from the manual calculation that the pressure at location 7 is negative pressure, it is also shown that the plastic is pulled in when the valve is fully open. And like shown in this picture, when the valve is in the siphon, the valve is fully open. This will be put in, this plastic here will be put in. Initially, we want to use pressure gauge in this location. However, the pressure gauge can't measure the pressure since it has no capability of measuring negative pressure. So we'll use this. As the supervisor suggests, we can use this. So if the plastic is pulled in, it means the negative pressure, and if the plastic pulled out, it means positive pressure. Since from the manual calculation we got a negative pressure, and by observation here, this is pulled in, the plastic is pulled in, so it is also negative pressure. So the analysis on the siphon is successfully conducted. And from the heat transfer analysis, here if we grab the data, it will produce like this. The heat is maximum when the temp is about 600, and this is the comparison of the inlet temperature and outlet temperature. This is the outlet temperature. The inlet temperature is almost all of the inlet temperature is greater than the outlet temperature. This is very logic because the inlet temperature is located near the boiler. Therefore, the temperature of the inlet will be higher compared to the outlet temperature. Moreover, the outlet temperature is also located near the cold water, therefore it will be lower. And this is the simple calculation, and by assuming the mass is 1 kilogram and the Cp is 1000 joule per kilogram degree C, and substitute this value into this, we'll get this. Now, this is how I do the analysis on the heat transfer. And the next is about the analysis of thermodynamics. So here the power developed is maximum at time approximately here is 700, or it's about 700 seconds. And by assuming that exit temperature or T2 is equal to 35 degrees C, and the mass flow rate is m dot equal to 1 kilogram per second. And by taking one of the data, here is T1 is 71 degrees C and T2 is 35 degrees C here. And from here, we need to calculate the enthalpy. However, we have no data about the enthalpy of water at 71 degrees C. Therefore, we need to do interpolation here the interpolation, and from the thermodynamics table A2 here, and H1 is found to be 26 to 8.5 kilojoule per kilogram. And H2 we have data about the enthalpy at temperature of 35 degrees C. Therefore, we just obtain it from the table A2 and substitute this value into this formula. Will obtain this. The work turbine at the specific temperature is about 63.2 kilowatt. However, during the experiment, we are expecting that the lamp will be turned on. However, in reality, the lamp is not turning on. It is possibly caused by the small flow rate in the experiment, so that it is not able to make the generator rotate and produce electricity. And even though from the manual calculation, the power developed is quite big. However, it's still not able to to turn on the light. So this is possibly caused by the generator is not suitable in this application, or the system is not well built, so it may cause error. And as the conclusion, the experiment setup for thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, and heat transfer has been successfully developed. And then, because the experiment is successfully developed, we also successfully conduct the experiment on thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, and heat transfer. However, there are some unexpected results, such as the light is not turning on during the experiment, and the pressure gauge is not able to measure the pressure in some specific location of the siphon, and etc. But the manual calculation is done to overcome the unexpected result. So we can still analyze it manually. And as the feedback of this class, first I feel satisfied because even though we are in a very hard condition, so that we cannot do the experiment in the actual lab that we have, but the supervisor still give a very good effort to guide us understanding about the engineering principle that is happening in the real world. And then at the same time, I feel challenging, and the class feel challenging and interesting, because we need to make our own setup from the very beginning, and then develop it. This actually very difficult, because if there is some error, we will have some problem during the experiment. However, that's why it is very challenging and interesting. But however, I also feel disappointed. It's not the lecturer or the supervisor give doesn't give a good material, or not. I feel disappointed because I cannot do this actual I cannot do the experiment in the laboratory, because yeah, I actually want to have a real hands-on experience, uh, hands-on experience related to mechanical engineering stuff. However, in this condition, uh, in this condition, we will not be able to do that. However, still the supervisor give a good advice and guidance throughout this course. And I think that's all from me, and thank you.